irregular preterite, keep in mind the regular endings, which is, we just went over, but these may or may not follow those endings.
Okay. There's 5 of these, and the first 3 are ir and ser, which they share the box. And you have fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, and fueron. And then you have dar and ver, and they have all of the same conjugations, just the different beginning letter. And none of these 3 have any accents in any of the forms.
Now that, if you remember, is an AR verb that uses ir and ir ending. So if you remember that, and it has no accents, then easy way to remember that is just AR verb with ir, ir. Now ved, the only thing that's irregular about it is what? What's the only thing irregular about ved?
Oh, it's got the IMOS.
True. Remember though, for preterite, there is no EMOS. So it's the same exact ER and IR endings, it just has no accents. It's the only thing that's irregular about it. And Edith said no rhyme or reason to it, just have to know.
The last 2 are hacer and leer, and these are the boxes for them. Hacer has the C's in the go into form and a Z in the LA usted form. And leer has a bunch of accents, and it has the Y in the 2 bottom forms because you have 3 vowels in a row.
Now, hacer does not have accents where it normally does because it's technically AR endings for an ER verb there. So no accents on hacer, but leer happens to have extra accents.
And then for stem change verbs and preterite, it only happens in IR verbs, and you just have O to U and E to I changes. There's no E to IE or O to UE, and it only happens in the LA usted form and AOS ustedes form, so the bottom 2. And 2 examples are morir, and so you only change O to U in the bottom 2, and then pedir you change E to I in the bottom 2.
Right, so your irregular preterite not only covers the ones that are just kind of weird boxes, the ones that have no accents, but also I to Y, we did include it as one of your verbs that were just irregular altogether. Careful that it does have normal accents on those 2, and then this one and this one are extra. So it ends up having accents on all of them except for leer on there. Okay. And then this is what we were talking about with your stem changing verbs, that this only happens, make sure we see that, for IR verbs. Okay. And then only O to U and E to I, and only on the bottom 2. So if you're doing any of the other conjugations, regular conjugations there are no changes because your verb is not in the basement. That's why we called it a basement. Okay. Would it be a UE change?
No.
It would be M2, or I'm sorry, O2, U, and then you pick up the rest of your letters, and then your ending for IR verbs is okay, so careful with not confusing what this verb does in the present tense, which is a UE change, to what it does in the preterite or past tense. Okay. So O to U, bottom 2, and then E to I on the bottom 2 for those. So still stem changers, just stem changes instead of being in the boot in the present, they're now basements in the preterite. It's trying to focus. There it goes.
They use pencil too?
No, actually, I guess they just didn't like the thin pen. It's very picky. We have to be nice to it. All right. Again, you can see sentences like this in any tense. I can say do this in the present tense, and you can do it. We can start all over again and do it in the preterite tense, which is what we're doing now. So, make sure that you read the subheadings on your midterm that say present tense or preterite, so that you know that you're doing the right conjugation of the verb.
Okay, what's number 1?
Am I gonna answer it, Casey?
Wait.
Good.
Number 2.
You can't really. How do you like zoom out so you can